Our Old Testament scriptures today are more than a little incongruous. The First Kings scripture is really positive as far as talking about Tyre, and the Ezekiel passage is, it's not positive. So Tyre, which is, right here on the coast, Tyre and its sister city Sidon, they were the heart of the Phoenician Empire. And so Phoenicia was a wealthy and powerful ancient empire, built mostly around this island of Tyre off the coast, because it had a couple of natural ports where you could build ships, you can have wealthy trade routes, you can find the right shellfish to make expensive purple dyes. And so Tyre had a lot of important trade alliances in ancient times. So the First Kings passage reflects a period in history where Israel and the Phoenician people of Tyre and Sidon were important allies. So up here's Tyre, and you've got the Sea of Galilee, and then down here's Jerusalem. And so the two nations become important allies and trade partners. The height of that was 8 to 10 centuries BCE, during times of like King David and King Solomon. So the Phoenician people are considered Canaanites. They're biblical pagans who worship gods other than Yahweh. Various Baals or Asherah or Melkart, who is the equivalent of Heracles or Hercules. And so in the book of Kings, the Phoenician woman Jezebel is married to King Ahab, and to the consternation of the prophets Elijah and Elisha, she refuses to worship the one God Yahweh and continues to worship her own gods. So during Kings is written during this important trade period where the Phoenicians were the people of Tyre and the kings of Israel are allies. And then you get to Ezekiel, and Ezekiel writes in or of a time when the two peoples have become rivals, or at least not allies. And so Babylon has swept through the region. This is in the time of the Babylonian captivity, the exile, and King Nebuchadnezzar II comes down the coast and gets to Tyre and, decides to take over Tyre. And at this point, there's what's old Tyre on the coast, and then there's the island of Tyre out in the water. And Nebuchadnezzar laid siege to them for 13 years, 586 to 573 BC. And it just did nothing. Tyre held out. The people of mainland Tyre fled to the island of Tyre, and they had fleets, and it just didn't affect them much at all. So after 13 years, Nebuchadnezzar razed the mainland city of Tyre, pulled the stones off the stones, and left and huffed in anger. So Ezekiel prophesied that proud Tyre, who worshipped the wrong gods, would get what was coming to her as well. Because at this point, Israel and Judah have also been taken over by Babylon and sent into exile. So by the time they're back from exile, Alexander the Great is, marching through the region. Maybe you've heard of Alexander the Great. And he's conquering and he's spreading Greek Hellenism wherever he goes. And he gets to Tyre and he wants it. And Tyre resists. Alexander's impatience and military imagination are somewhat unrivaled. So he uses, this story. Okay. Alexander's like, I want to take over this island, and they have all these ships, and I know that laying siege isn't going to do anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the rubble from the mainland, from Old Tyre, and we're just going to carry it into the ocean and build a causeway. We're just building us a land bridge out here to take over this island. And so the Greeks, they start doing this, and the people of Tyre are like laughing at them, and they're like coming up in their boats out in the ocean and laughing and saying, "Oh, you're mighty soldiers carrying stones." And then Alexander destroyed and razed Tyre. He slaughtered thousands of people and sold the rest into slavery and tumbled stone from stone, rock from rock, until it is bare. He destroyed. Essentially the equivalent of like a modern nuclear bomb is what Alexander did to Tyre. His causeway has remained. Carthage became the new seat of the Phoenician Empire at this time, but the causeway has remained to the present day, and now so much silt has built up, and so much sediment has built up over the years that it's now a peninsula, and one of the natural bays is gone. But Tyre remains. It's a